assault on American energy production has been devastating for my constituents in the Central Valley. Every week I hear from my neighbors, friends, and constituents about the skyrocketing price of energy bills. Over the summer, people in California were paying over $6 per gallon of gas. It is unacceptable that even though America has some of the greatest energy resources any nation of the world, my constituents are having trouble putting gas in their tank and food on their table. That's why I'm proud to support the lower energy costs and encourage my colleagues to support on both sides of the aisle. This bill will cut red tape and allow us to increase our supply of safe, clean, and affordable energy. I'm proud that my language from my bill, the NEPA Adequacy Streamlining Act, is included in this bill. This makes the approval of new energy projects easier by allowing the Secretaries of Interior and Agriculture to use previously conducted environmental assessments for similar projects. This is a common sense reform that removes one of the many layers of bureaucratic red tape in our permitting process. This bill is full of the same types of policies that streamline our energy production and increase our supply of clean, affordable energy. And I want to respond to some of the opponents of this bill. My Democratic colleagues claim that this legislation is harmful to our environment, which is just not true. America has some of the strictest environmental standards of any nation in the world. When we produce energy here, we do it cleaner and safer than countries we would be importing it from. Something important to remember is that decreasing domestic production does not reduce the demand for energy. Reducing our ability to produce oil and gas in the U.S. just increases our reliance on foreign countries for these imports. That means instead of using clean energy we produce here and creating good-paying American jobs in the process, we are reliant on imports from countries like Russia and Venezuela, who do not hold the same environmental standards we have here in the U.S. If your argument is that you want to reduce emissions, increasing U.S. energy production is how you do it. Despite wishes from the President and the far left, we cannot abandon traditional energy sources like oil and gas. While we as a country should continue to develop and pursue other energy sources, we still need oil and gas for a long time. Why not produce it here in the U.S.? I support an all-of-the-above approach to energy production and use, but that does not mean we immediately transition to 100% renewable fuels. Until alternative energy sources are more reliable, we will continue to need traditional fuels. If my Democratic colleagues cared about the environment as much as they say they do, supporting increased production of clean and reliable American-made energy should be a no-brainer. And passing the Lower Energy Costs Act is a critical step to lowering prices, creating good-paying jobs, and strengthening our national security. So I urge my colleagues to all vote in support of this bill.
Wow, friends. There's huge news from the federal government. President Biden has confirmed that the IRS will be collecting more than $100 billion in new revenue over the next few years. Many are concerned about how this increase will affect millions of low-income households. If you receive Social Security income or file taxes, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. To say thank you for being part of this community, I will be announcing 3 winners tomorrow for the Walmart gift card giveaway. My friends, if you'd like to enter these weekly giveaways, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos. Do comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, dear friends, of winning the giveaways. This morning, the Internal Revenue Service's new commissioner, Danny Werfel, released the agency's highly anticipated plan for spending $80 billion in funding over the next decade. Werfel attempted to reassure average taxpayers they do not need to worry about an increase in audits. The funding comes from Democrats' sweeping Inflation Reduction Act, which passed along party lines last year and is meant to support the agency in cracking down on tax cheats and providing better service to American taxpayers. As a result of the improvements, the IRS is expected to collect more than $100 billion in new revenue over a 10-year period. But Republicans have been critical of sending so much money to the Internal Revenue Service and skeptical that the investment won't lead to increased audits of hardworking Americans. In the GOP-controlled House, a bill passed earlier this year that would rescind most of the new funding. Biden administration officials have repeatedly said that taxpayers earning less than $400,000 a year will not face an increase in taxes due to the new funding, though there is some uncertainty about how exactly the IRS can ensure this. Werfel addressed the issue on a call with reporters. He said that the focus of new audits will be first on wealthy individuals, large corporations, and complex partnerships. Werfel also added, "We have years ahead of us where we will be 100% focused on building capacity for higher income individuals and corporations. During this time, the audit rates of average taxpayers will not increase. Individuals who get W-2s or Social Security payments or have a small business should not be worried about some new wave of IRS audits." Previously, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that audit rates for those earning less than $400,000 a year will not exceed historical levels. The IRS will also be adding new staff, but Werfel did not say how many auditors will be hired as a result of the new funding. The tax agency's staff has been declining for some time. With about 80,000 full-time employees, the IRS is almost 20% smaller than it was in 2010. At the same time, the U.S. population has grown, and the IRS was required to implement several major tax law changes. The number of auditors that work on complex returns has been cut nearly in half to 2,600 compared with 2010. Some Republican leaders have made the exaggerated claim that the $80 billion in new funding would be used to hire 87,000 auditors who will target hardworking Americans. But the 87,000 figure is misleading. Many of the new hires will be replacing staff that the IRS has already lost or is expected to lose through attrition in coming years. The IRS will also be working to improve taxpayer service. And so far, the agency has hired 5,000 new customer service agents since the Inflation Reduction Act was passed last year. Werfel said the increase is already making a difference. The IRS is consistently answering between 80% and 90% of incoming calls, compared with just 17% last year. Wait time is also down, and on average, callers are waiting about 4 minutes compared with 20 minutes last year. Many people who have already filed their taxes this year are receiving smaller refunds. According to statistics recently released by the Internal Revenue Service, the average refund amount is down 11% from 1 year ago. The IRS says the average refund this year is $2,903, which is down from $3,263 1 year ago. Through March 24th, 80.6 million tax returns have been filed, which is down about 0.8% from the same time 1 year ago. The total amount refunded by the IRS through March 24th was $172 billion, which is down 8.7% from this time 1 year ago. Although average refunds are smaller, more Americans are getting some sort of refund. Over 60 million Americans have claimed a refund on their return through March 24th, which is up from 57 million at the same time last year. Dear friends, please let me know in the comment section below if you are still waiting for your tax refund. Well, my most amazing and beautiful friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Thursday. Thank you so much, friends, for being part of this community and for being here every single day. To show my appreciation, I will be announcing 3 winners tomorrow for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, dear friends, of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed Thursday.